The Coach O Show with Luke Tasker.
Ticat fans, welcome to the Coach O Show with Luke Tasker. That's me. I'm joined almost every week, by Orlondo Steinauer, Ticats head coach, for our weekly update. Coach, good morning for me. Good afternoon for you. How's everything going?
Going well. It's good to be back. It was good to get out on the field there today, but always enjoy talking with you for a few minutes each week.
Very good. I'm up in Alaska right now for my sister's wedding and traveling around, and I'm recording this from Ticats, Alaska. If anyone's ever heard of that, it's 800 people here. My brother-in-law's from here, and it's right under the Denali National Park, so we can see Mount McKinley up there. And we took an airplane ride up around the mountains yesterday, like a little propeller plane. I mean, like mind-blowing stuff. I mean, really, really unbelievable, the scale of the mountains here, but gives me a great perspective on the Coach O climb the mountain throughout the year. Are we still 2019? That's what that was all about. It is the team still on that same mindset of climbing the mountain?
We are, but of course it's a different mountain.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. But we've added a few more wrinkles to it, and
nice.
That's still kind of the same theme there.
That's great. Yeah. In 2019, Coach O had the team had a mindset of the season was a climb up the mountain, and with each win, I remember we would change the diagram, and we would have paced a little bit up the mountain. These people here, they say 1,000 people climb Denali in a year, and it's like you look at it from an airplane and you just cannot believe it. They take 3 weeks to do it, and it must be an unbelievable life experience because people die out there. I mean, it's a really, really unbelievable mountain and unbelievable place in the world here. But the CFL season is a mountain of its own too.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
It's fantastic, man. It's a beautiful country here, but well, that's great. The team is on their way up their mountain for 2021. After the Ottawa game, we didn't get a chance to catch up. We've had the strangest scheduling for the Ticats, and we'll talk about that in a second. But after the last Ottawa game, what were you most proud of the team?
Just their mindset, just going out there with, the final game in 17 days, you're just not going to be 100%. You're probably not going to be 80%, but your minds and your hearts don't have to be fatigued. And I think that's what I was most proud of. They didn't back away from preparation. They didn't leave anything to chance. And we were banged up by the end of it. I thought we had some new blitzes in or something because I saw people in different spots. I didn't know what was going on for a second. And, it was pretty hectic there for a minute. And then, of course, it was the first time we played in some adverse weather conditions. And, I thought we took care of the ball, and we overcame some adversity early. And, and most important is we found a way to win. No matter what it looked like or how, those aren't gimme games. Everybody prepares to win every week. So I'm most proud of our heart and our mindset, and of course, getting the win.
Yeah, I mean, the weather, especially in Ottawa, is sort of an equalizer. And the thing that jumped off the stat sheet from me was, on paper, they had 8 turnovers, Ottawa, and that includes turnovers on downs. But I saw that and thought, man, the toxic ratio, the turnover ratio has been in our favor for the games that the Ticats have won, and that was certainly an incredible show of that. So we move forward, and now you got Montreal again. This is every football game is important, but this is a really interesting week for the East here because the bottom half plays the top half, and a chance to really widen that divide. What's the message? What's the tone in the locker room going into this one?
Well, right now it's, day 2. And that's the most truthful thing is we don't control any of that. We do know what the month of October holds in the way of scheduling. We do understand the importance of division games, but all that really matters is day 2 right now, going out there to practice and, using that as a stepping stone for the game on Saturday. So, I think Montreal is, I think they're a lot better than their record. I think when you turn the tape on, you see that they play hard. I think they're improved from the last time we played them. And, we'll have our hands full, right? And, I'm looking forward to it, though. I like to say it really tells you what kind of football team you have. And, I've liked our response recently. I even liked our responses, in the times that the games didn't go in our favor. The goal is always to win, but, you've got to win some things internally and things that don't show on the field also sometimes. So looking forward to this week. Really looking forward to day 2, though.
Great. That's awesome. It'll be interesting to see how this progresses. It's still if the season ended now, we'd be flirting with a crossover again, and I think probably half the years, it seemed like half the years that I played up there, we had a crossover, and something strange or different happened at the end of the season, getting ready for the playoffs. But excited to see how we progress from here. The team, it looks like we maybe are going to have some guys back off the injured list. Obviously, still some days to shake out and things, but the scheduling made it really hard. Guys like Speedy, like, how are you going to get back into the mix if you're injured and you got games every 3 days? It seems like, you finally had a little bit of a long week here. That 17-day stretch is over. Physically, I imagine the locker room's feeling a little bit better. Mentally, with this strange schedule, has this been adversity for the team, or has it just been, every day you come in and you do whatever that job is today?
I think it's whatever that job is today would be more shaded towards that comment. You're right. It's, from, being injured and coming back, the biggest thing when you come back from an injury necessarily isn't going out there to practice that day. Of course you get that feel, but usually there's been a buildup, whether it was, with the therapy department or the strength and conditioning coach or whatever. But the tell is usually after you've pushed it, how you feel the next day. And can you stack those days together? So, we did, Speedy was out there today and Braylon was out there and we pushed them pretty good because we didn't go on the field on day 0. We opted to get our install and that sort of thing taken care of. And so we really hit the ground running here day 1. And so, they got pushed both mentally. I think that's another thing that goes a little bit underrated is it's easy to run on the side, but then all of a sudden there's a play clock. You're getting taxed mentally and then you got to come back and run it again. It's just a lot different than running on your own. So, and then they haven't been tackled for a while. Right. So there's a lot of question marks, but I think there's one thing is that they're great people, they're great players, and they're excited to be back out there. And I know their teammates are excited to have them also.
I from those 3 names, Braylon, Speedy, and Jeremiah getting a few reps here and there, like, great people, great guys, and great character. And it makes a difference when a player loves football and wants to play, compared to, there are sometimes there's a guy who's on a wrong mindset in his own career on a team, and that's hard to come back from an injury like that. I remember those days right after you're getting ready to take that first day on the field for practice, and you're right, you can run on the sidelines all day. The problem is that when you get on the field, you have to run without thinking about how the injury feels, and you have to think about what coverage you're against and what the play was called, and all of a sudden that feels very, very different. I remember, I think the best, I actually remember the best injury that I ever recovered from was one of the quad tears that I had. And I remember coming back in that first day in practice, knowing that I had done it right. And then I can remember a handful of injuries where I was thinking, shoot, I don't know. It'll be a toss-up whether this goes good tomorrow or not. But sometimes you get that one injury that you really handled greatly and with greatness. And boy, football is just nothing but adversity sometimes, and injuries are the most visible part of that. Well, it's exciting stuff, Coach. We can't wait to get back into Tim Hortons Field and to hit this lineup of home games and start seeing this playoff picture take shape. But Coach, so happy to catch up with you again. We'll be together next week after the Alouettes come in, and we'll take it from there. See how the season shakes down. Great talking with you, Coach.
Thank you. Have a great one, Luke.
All right.